Golgi apparatus, calling it protein X. Due to the lack of protein X, proteins that are normally found in the lysosome are found outside the cell, and materials that are normally digested in the lysosome accumulate in the patient's cell. What's the plausible model for function of protein X? So it's saying protein X should be in the Golgi. When it's not in the Golgi, proteins that are found in the lysosome are found outside the cell, and things that should be in the lysosome accumulate in the patient's cell.
Like the things that the lysosomes were supposed to spit out? I mean, we're supposed to like recycle or inherit the patient?
Yeah, it means the lysosome is not taking in these things. Protein X is likely some transport protein for the lysosome. Is what I would think.
That didn't get glycosylated properly?
So it's saying you don't, when you're lacking this protein, everything that is supposed to be in the lysosome ends up being secreted. So it would be, so it's some protein in the Golgi that reads the signals. It reads the lysosomal signals and sends it to the lysosome. If you don't have it, you can't read that signal, so then everything in the Golgi will end up being secreted. What that means is that if you don't have the reader of that signal for the lysosomes, you're not even creating lysosomes anymore. So all the stuff that would go into the lysosome ends up just accumulating in the patient's cell. So it'd be some recognition signal for in the Golgi. So this is testing like a pretty extreme level of knowledge, actually. You would have, so if this is your trans Golgi, inside the membrane of this, you have little receptors. So these are all like receptors. For red, let's say red is secretion. And the green is lysosome. So in the trans Golgi, what's happening is you're sorting all these proteins. And all the proteins that have some protein, you have a bunch of these proteins. Some of these proteins will have a little signal, little green signals, meaning they're meant for the lysosome, and other ones will have the secretion signal on them. These signals will end up binding to this receptor, and then what will happen is all the reds will accumulate together and form one vesicle for secretion. All the greens will accumulate and form the lysosome. Protein X is going to be that green receptor. If you don't have the lysosomal recognition receptor, you can't cluster all the lysosomal proteins together, and they're going to just naturally go towards secretion.
But don't you need to have a vesicle first to let it be secreted?
So in secretion, for secretion, you don't necessarily need this, because when you bud off a vesicle, everything that's left in there will diffuse into that budding vesicle. So as this starts to bud, if this is for secretion, you're going to have all of these red ones. You're going to have all the proteins bound to the red ones that are meant to go. But while it's budding,